We will go now with our part 2, midterm, no, ng ating discrete 1. Okay? So, we will discuss tautologies. What is tautology? It is a formula which is always true for every value of its propositional variable. For example, prove if A then B and A then B is a tautology. So the truth table for this are as follows. Makikita nyo, lahat siya ay true. Okay? So ito yung formula at nag-arrive tayo sa ating evaluation as true. No? So ito ay isang tautology. Okay? So pag lahat ng result ng isang formula ay true, then it is a tautology. Ano naman yung contradiction? So contradiction is a formula which is always false for every value of its propositional variables. For example, A or B and not A and not B is a contradiction. So ito yung ating formula at nag-arrive tayo sa evaluation na false para sa apat na value ng kanyang variables na within the formula. So it is a contradiction. A contingency is a formula which has both some true and some false values for every value of its propositional variables. So kung ito yung formula natin at meron siyang false, merong true, then it is a contingency. Dahil siya ay both some true and some false. Ano naman yung propositional equivalences? For example, two statements X and Y are logically equivalent if any of the following two conditions hold. The truth values of each statement have the same truth values. And second, the conditional statement if only if X and Y is a tautology. So prove not A or B and not A and not B are equivalent. So sabi natin the truth tables of each statement have the same truth values. So may the same truth values ba for each statement? So testing by first method which is matching truth table. So ito yung truth table ng ating statement, unang statement. Ito naman yung truth table ng ating second statement. Ano yung ating unang statement? Not A or B. At yung pangalawa nating statement ay not A and not B. So makita nyo, pareho sila, false, 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 true, false, 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 true. Therefore, the said statements are equivalent. So testing by second method, by conditionality, ito yung ating second statement, second condition. Okay, so ito yung ating if and only if. Makita natin siya ay tautology kasi lahat sila ay true. Therefore, the statements are equivalent. Ano naman yung inverse, converse, and contrapositive? Implication, if then is also called a conditional statement. So yung arong to, di ba? Remember, if then, it has two parts. Meron siyang hypothesis, which is represented by P. Conclusion, represented by Q. As mentioned earlier, it is denoted as if P, then Q. Example of conditional statement, if you do your homework, you will not be punished. Here, you do your homework is the hypothesis P and you will not be punished is the conclusion Q. Okay? So, with that example, we can check the definition of inverse. An inverse of the conditional statement is the negation of both the hypothesis and the conclusion. So, pag sinabi negation, lagyan natin ng not. Okay? If the statement is if P then Q, then the inverse will be if not P then not Q. Thus the inverse of P, if P then Q is not P, if not P then not Q. Example, the inverse of if you do your homework, you will not be punished. So we will have for this example we will have if you do not do your homework, you will be punished. So, binaliktad natin to, nilagyan natin ng not. Ito namang isa, tinanggalan natin ng not. So, if you do not do your homework, you will be punished. Converse, the converse of the conditional statement is computed by interchanging the hypothesis and the conclusion. If the statement is if P then Q, the converse will be if Q then P. So the converse of if P then Q is if Q then P. Example, the converse of if you do your homework, you will not be punished is if you will not be punished, you do your homework. Contrapositive, the contrapositive of the conditional is computed by interchanging the hypothesis and the conclusion of the inverse statement. If the statement is if P then Q, the contrapositive will be if not Q then not P. So the contrapositive of if P then Q is if not Q then not P. The example for this is if you do your homework, you will not be punished is if you are punished, you did not do your homework. Duality principle states that for any true statement, the dual statement obtained by interchanging unions into intersections and vice versa, and interchanging universal set into null set and vice versa is also true. If dual of any statement is the statement itself, it is said self-dual statement. Example, the dual of the dual of the intersection of A and B is the union of C is the union of A and B and the intersection of C. Yan. Normal forms. So, ibig sabihin, pag binaliktad natin, interchange natin, at pareho din sila, then that is the example of the duality principle. Normal forms, we can convert any proposition into normal forms. One, conjunctive. Second, disjunctive. What is conjunctive normal form? A compound statement is in conjunctive normal form if it is obtained by operating and among variables, negation of variables included, connected with ors. So, siya ay obtained by connecting and operating and connected with ors. In terms of set operations, it is compound statement obtained by intersection among variables connected with unions. Yan. Example, A or B and A or C and B or C or D. Yun yung unang example. Ito naman, pagka-set naman, the union of P and Q is the intersection of the union of Q and R. Yan. So the intersection of P and Q and R, yan, intersection to, is the union of P and Q and R. Yan. Disjunctive normal form, a compound statement is in conjunctive normal form if it is obtained by operating or among variables, negation included, connected with ends. In terms of set operations, it is a compound statement obtained by union among variables connected with intersection. Pabaliktad naman, no? Conjunctive, disjunctive, magka-reverse lang. Okay? So, ito na magiging example natin is A and B, okay? Or A and C, or B and C and D. Okay? Ito naman, the union of PQR is the intersection of P and Q and R. Okay? We go now with predicate logic. Predicate logic deals with predicates which are propositions containing variables. So, proposition siya na merong mga variables. Okay? A predicate is an expression of one or more variables defined on some specific domain. A predicate with variables can be made a proposition by either assigning a value to the variable or by quantifying the variable. The following are some examples of predicates. Yan. Let sum xy denote x is equal y. Let e pala yan. Let x abc. Let x abc denote a plus b plus c equals 0. Let m xy denote x is married to y. So, by quantifying the variables, we are making what we call the predicate logic. Okay? Well-formed formula or WFF is a predicate holding any of the following. All proposition constants and proposition variables are well-formed formulas. If x is a variable and y is a WFF, then every value of x in y is true and sum of the value of x in y are also WFF. Truth value and false values are well-formed formula, isatomic formula isa, well-formed formula and all connectives connecting well-formed formula are all well-formed formula. Quantifiers, a variable of predicates, is quantified by quantifiers. There are two types of quantifier in predicate logic. Number one is universal quantifier and the second one is the existential quantifier. And the universal quantifier states that the statements within its scope are true for every value of the specific variable. It is denoted by the symbol inverted A. Ito, all. As in, no? All. So ito, for every value of x, px is true. Is read. For every value of x, px is true. For example, man is mortal can be transformed into a propositional form. All value of x, px is true, where px is the predicate which denotes x is mortal and the universe of discourse is all men. So all x stands for men, they are all mortal. Existential quantifier, it states that the statements within scopes are true for some values of the specific variable. It is denoted by the symbol reverse E. So, for some value of x, px is true. Yan. The keyword is some, no? Itong universal, ang keyword natin dyan is every, no? Ibig sabihin all. Ito naman, some lang. So, for some value of x, px is true. For example, some people are dishonest. Can be transformed into the propositional form. Some value of x, px is true, where px is the predicate. Ano yung predicate natin? Some people are dishonest, which denotes x is dishonest and the universe of discourse is some people. Okay? Nested quantifiers. If you use a quantifier that appears within the scope of another quantifier, it is called nested quantifier. For example, all values of A and some values of B, and for some values of B, P, X, and Y is equal to 0. Okay? Second example, for every values of A, B, C, P, A, B, C is equal to A plus B plus C. So that's it for our midterm part 2 in discrete 1.